Hello guys, Happy New Year! Happy 2020. Hope you're not too hungover, you guys. I saw the New Year in last night, I heard them all out in the street and I heard the fireworks going off and everything. And I went to bed shortly after. As you can see, I'm down the beach, just down behind the coffee cup. Just having a little forage at the moment, see if I can find some limpets, but I can't see much. So. The plan is to fish tied up down behind the coffee cup with some bait I've got left over from yesterday. Got some ragworm, I've got a few squids that I've thawed out, and I left home this morning and ended up going back because I remembered I had a couple of blueies left in the freezer. So I thought maybe worth putting a bit of bluey out today just in case there's a ray. You never know. It's 9:30 at the moment and I tide's about 3:30, so I've got 6 hours. I've got the tide all the way up. I know it's been tricky down here recently, especially during the day, so I'm hoping it's not a big fat blank like I had yesterday. That would be a killer, but it'd be nice to be out on the beach anyway. So I'm going to head back to the car now, grab the stuff, and I'll see you when I get back down there. So my family went to Blenheim Palace yesterday for the day and they had afternoon tea, and they brought me back some cakes. Look at these little clock macaroons, little shortbreads with jam in. What I've worked out from last time is with these blueies, while they're still a bit frozen, I like to chop them up into sections and wrap them and then pop them in a little bag, and I find that because they're a bait that once they've defrost they get really soft. I think that's so much better for binding them on later. You can just put the hook through the elastic and bind it on. You haven't got, it's already bound, it's already made into a sausage parcel. So much easier. So that's the first rod ready to go out, and that's got a section of bluey on there. Get that out. So that's the second rod ready to go. It took a little while for me to get this one ready, but I've never tied up one of these loop rigs before. But yeah, that's I've got size 2s with ragworm tipped off the squid. Nice and simple. And hopefully anything swimming by will fancy eating that. put that into the impact shield, and then that hook under tension of the SRT spring, and then there we have it. That's the loop, one up, one down. That works, hopefully. I think the tide might be starting to come up a bit now, so I'm going to put this one out, and then I think I'm going to move my shelter back a little bit. Right, both rods out, I can settle now. It's the first time I've put this beach shelter up. I picked it up a few weeks ago, but I haven't actually used it yet. It's really cool. They're a great design for one person. That tide's really ripping from right to left at the moment. I cast that well right, and it's gone left. But not that bothered, it's out there. If it's moving, I think it's going to be a bad thing, to be honest. So have a little look at this. You've got about 6 miles of beach along there, and then this side you've got another good couple of miles up to the pier, and these people have decided they're going to have a swim right next to where I'm fishing, literally 20 yards beyond where I'm fishing. It does make you wonder sometimes. And here comes another load. Seriously people, go to a swimming pool. Really? I don't mean to sound like I keep moaning, but seriously, what chance have you got when you've got people that close to where you're fishing? So I don't want to speak too soon, but at this present moment in time, there's nobody in the water. I think they've had their morning dip. There's been loads of them. There's no wonder that the rods have been quiet. But I think they've had their morning dip and they're going to go home and start preparing their New Year's Day dinners. So it might quieten down a bit. I've had the rods out for about an hour. I wound them in and they're pretty much untouched. Instead of one of the ragworm hooks actually had a crab on it, the hook managed to get nicked in its body. And I wound it in. But it's an absolutely beautiful morning. It's overcast, but there's no wind. I've got the shelter up anyway, but there's no wind. This is just for a bit of privacy more than anything because there's so many people about. But the bluey rod, absolutely untouched. One of the ragworms was completely untouched. just went straight back out again with a new little bit of squid tipped off. But going by previous form, it's going to be hard anyway. But it's nice to be out doing it, and it's nice to be casting that multiplier rod in the daylight, because I can actually see what's going on. And watching the video back of me casting, I can have a look at where my balance is and sort of teach myself, if that makes sense, by watching myself. But it's going out there alright. A massive tide pool at the moment. It's really weird, but it's going from right to left at the moment. But I know that when the tide gets up a bit, it goes from left to right. So it's going to switch around at some point. I kind of expected it, I don't know, it's because we're in the middle of the beach I suppose, but I kind of expected it to go that way when it runs out, slack at low water, and then that way when it's high on the way up. But I'm casting out, and the grippers, they're not really sticking in, to be honest. Could probably do with heavier leads. But if it moves about a little bit out there, I'm not too bothered. A little bit of movement might just tempt something if they're a bit lethargic. So it's proper slack tide now. I can see no bend in the rod tips. There's no movement out there. Top hook on this one, the ragworm rod. Top hook had been chewed a little bit by the crabs. The bottom hook is exactly the way it was when I put it out on the first cast. So yeah, not much out there. But that bottom one's alright. I'm going to leave it as it is. I know I've got bait to use up, but I'm not going to waste it. Put the top one, put those fresh worm on. There's got to be a fish out there with my name on it. That tide's coming a bit close again. I think I'm going to retreat back up the beach a few metres again. There we go. That'll be a nice ragworm on there. I think what I'll do is I'll warm the other rod in, and then I'll move everything up the beach a few metres. That's all clipped up. Clipped up? Clipped up or clipped down? Yeah, I like the idea of that loop rig, that's pretty cool. Which means I know that one's definitely fishing on the bottom, and that one's quite long as well, because of the angle I've got the rod tip. I'm pretty sure they're both on the bottom, but that top one's getting chewed by crabs anyway, so I think if there is a dab or a place or a flounder or something like that out there, has to be nailed on the bottom. Right, it's lunchtime now, and as it's New Year's Day, I thought I'd treat myself. So I've got a box full of pork pies and English mustard. It's the only way to eat them. Got a big dollop on. Awesome. So one for the carp fishermen amongst you. Do you think barbecue beef hula hoops smell like sauce boilies? Reckon I've stumbled across something there. All joking aside, I was due to work tonight. Wednesday's my night for working, and I start at 5 o'clock, so probably would have had to pack up at 3 o'clock, get myself home, get cleaned up and get to work. But I just messaged my boss because it's New Year's Day. It's a bank holiday and I wasn't sure what was going on, and I'm actually down to be not working tonight, which is a bit of a bonus. The downside is I haven't brought my headlamp or my video light, so I can't fish into darkness. But there's nothing stopping me going into dusk a little bit, and I think as it gets dusky it's going to be around high tide or just after. That could be when we catch our New Year's Day fish. First fish of 2020, that'd be really cool if we could do it today. And after yesterday's blank, if I could catch a fish today, I don't care what it is. I'm kind of thinking I should have 2 rods out with size 2s on and ragworm and little bits of squid and just try and scratch about, see if I can pick up a fish. But I can't not put that bluey rod out. I kind of think that that needs to be out there, because if there is a ray patrolling up and down the beach, especially at this time of the tide, it'd be silly, I think, not to have it out there. So it's now gone completely slack. Well, I can't quite believe this myself, but I've gone and caught a ray. What an awesome fish that is. That's what you call a blank saver. That is what you call a blank saver. Unbelievable. That is just so cool. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's a thornback ray, but I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely incredible. And what a way to save the blank. Look at that. That is so cool. Oh, I'm so chuffed with that. That's brilliant. Gonna get a couple of shots and get it back. So how about that for a blank saver then? Incredible, absolutely incredible. I didn't bring any boots with me today because I didn't think it would be that hectic, so I just had my trainers on. And when I put that ray back, he was having trouble getting over the breakers there. So I had to take my shoes and socks off and just wade out past them and then release him, and he's gone off quite happily now. But it's good to see him go back strong. But that really fought close in, just over that ledge, really pulling back, especially with them wades. That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And there's me hoping for a whiting or a little bass or something just to save the blank. So pleased I've kept that ray rod out there with that bluey on. Proper chuffed. Oh, it's made my year already, that is. Gotta be happy with that, blimey. There's a good start to the year. good day at the seaside today. It's a good day in July. There's so many people down there. But the rods are quiet. It's about half an hour now till high tide. I just wound the ragworm rod in. It had been nibbled by the crabs, but I've just freshened it up, put it back out again. The ray rod's back out there and doing its thing. That was a fantastic fish. What a way to kick off 2020. Unbelievable. I'm going to give it until high tide. I'm probably down for about half an hour just to see dusk in, around 4 o'clock-ish. And then think about packing away, I think. So we've still got time. Probably got about another hour and 10 minutes before I have to get off, and I'm going to lose the light then, and I won't be able to fish any longer. So let's have a look at the time. Time now, high tide. It's high tide now. Still no bites, just wound in the ragworm rod again and it hadn't been touched, so I just slung it straight back out again. I'm probably going to give it half an hour now, probably give it till 4 o'clock. Starting to get dusky already and I can feel the temperature dropping. Yeah, still people. Literally, there's 3 people, they came down the beach, they stripped off to their shorts, jumped in the water for like 30 seconds, jumped back out again because they realised just how cold it is, got a quick selfie and they've gone. Yeah, fair play, fair play. To be honest, when I got in there to help that ray, it was cold on my legs. I had to get in. It was one of them things, I had no choice. It just couldn't get past them breakers. It kept turning upside down, so I had to get beyond them, and then once I did, it swam off quite strongly. So yeah, quite chuffed about that. But yeah, my legs were cold. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, I can feel the temperature dropping now, and the light's starting to fail. So another half an hour, wind these in and get off. So that's enough for me. I've been sat out here all day and the temperature's really starting to drop now. I'm starting to feel cold. Another group's just turned up about 20 feet to my right and they're running out and jumping in the sea now. So that's what they do. I mean, if that's what they do on New Year's Day, fair enough. If I'd have realised this was the area they did it in, I wouldn't have set up here. I would have set up further away. But there you go, you live and learn. I've had the first fish of 2020 and what a fish to open the account with as well. But when I get home, I've got a hot bath calling me. And just need to warm my bones up a bit and have some dinner. So it's been a great session. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.